Welcome to Colorado Homes and Lifestyles, where style comes home. This recording is brought to you by Aftersight, and it is intended to be used solely by individuals who are blind or have low vision.
Thank you for joining us for the March-April 2022 issue of Colorado Homes and Lifestyles, the Mountain Issue. From the editor, Rocky Mountain High. Many of us came to Colorado, drawn to the state's abundance of outdoor space and mountain lifestyle. At Colorado Homes and Lifestyles, we spotlight Colorado's great pinnacles and high country living each year in our mountain issue, paying special attention to the unique style of mountain homes. What is the secret of mountain design? The designers at Stell House in Steamboat Springs share some trade secrets, and architect Kyle Webb, who first visited Vail with his family when he was 10 years old, talks about his love for mountain modern architecture. The feature homes in this issue, starting on page 72, all share a common theme. Mountain views dictate the home's design. A modern aspen home designed by architect Scott Lindenau of Studio B Architecture and Interiors, with interiors by designer Sean Henderson, was created with many spots for tranquility and reflection, along for enjoying the wraparound views. In Steamboat Springs, a unique property is transformed into a sanctuary for a multi-generational family. Working with Gerber Barrand Design Build, they rebuilt the home with a butterfly roof to embrace view corridors of the ski areas and pine forest. The amazing views steal the show in a glass-walled aspen house designed by Z Group Architects and Karen White Interior Design. We wanted the views to be the main attraction, says White, so this home has complementary finishes that blend with the organic nature you see outside. With spring around the corner, there are also plenty of options for enjoying the mountains for a weekend getaway. Editor-at-large Rebecca Gart takes us on a tour of the Hythe, Vail's newest luxe hotel. Don't forget, there's still time to pack in some spring skiing. Darla Warden, Editor-in-Chief. My faves from this issue. 1. The assortment of statement pieces with mountain style like this Caleb chair in ivory angora from Columbine Showroom, columbineShowroom.com. 2. Andrea Monath Schumacher's beautiful book, Vibrant Interiors, Living Large at Home, showcasing her stunning work, page 39. 3. The inviting vibe at the Hythe's Revel Lounge, the perfect place to relax after skiing, page 98. Finds, booked. Style Star Rising. In her new book, designer Andrea Monath Schumacher reveals how to live your best life in every room of the house. Story by Catherine O'Shea Evans. Andrea Monath Schumacher knows how to live large, so well in fact that the phrase became the subtitle of her first monograph, Vibrant Interiors, Living Large at Home. Gibbs Smith, April 2022. Based out of Denver and Santa Barbara, the itinerant designer travels the world for inspiration and often incorporates international finds into her projects, along with plenty of well-curated art pieces. Her eye for art is practically a family heirloom. Elizabeth Monath, her grandmother, was an understudy of Salvador Dali in 1930s Paris. Growing up around her art gave me a sense of color and combining colors and patterns, says Schumacher. She taught me all about color theory and being brave. We chatted with the designer about everything from her favorite places to shop in Colorado, which countries make her decorator heart go pitter-pat. Do you know you'd become a decorator even as a child? My mom says that she always knew. I was always rearranging my room. I remember pulling my bed into my closet and creating this little alcove, just taking the doors off and painting inside it and pulling my bed in there. I had a coral orange room for a long time. Later, I went to school for fashion merchandising, and I met a person who was doing a design program, and he got me all excited about it. And so I took a class and fell in love and changed my major. What's your favorite place to travel for inspiration? Probably Japan or Morocco. I love all the lighting and saturated colors in Morocco, and the rugs are amazing. But I also love the way they put things together, too. And then in Japan, I think it's the serenity of their interiors and the innovative ways the Japanese design things. What's your favorite source in Denver for fun accessories and antiques? I go to Degore Asian. They have little vignettes of different collectors in Denver. Somebody might shop in Paris and bring stuff back from there, and then they have Scandinavian things. It's awesome. It was just an Asian store once, and then they changed their concept to letting antique dealers do little vignettes. You need to go. It's really good. What are you always on the hunt for? Antique doors that I can incorporate, or Rajasthani arches or columns. I have the contractor build them into the walls. I love the Indian carved stuff. I think it has the most detail. How does Colorado influence your interiors when your projects are here? Any region affects some of your choices, right? I mean, if you're in Palm Beach, you can go with lighter linens and pinks and greens. Here, we often select warmer textiles and heavier materials like wools. But you don't ever go all Colorado with big stones and river rocks. That's too literal for me. This is a really tough question. What's your favorite paint color? Well, my basic white is Benjamin Moore's OC45 Swiss coffee. It's chameleon white, so if you accidentally put something ivory up against it or cream-colored, it will chameleon into looking good with it. You don't have to worry about getting the tone of your white correct. Do you have any design pet peeves? Forgetting the ceiling is one of them, using gray on gray on gray. If someone's nervous to use color, where do they begin? I would say start in a smaller room that you can manage, like a powder room. You could do just the ceiling in a room of fun color and see how that goes, and then go from there. We often wallpaper ceilings. If you're in a new build, you could do a coffered ceiling and then wallpaper inside that. That'd be fun. That's so pretty. How does travel inspire your interiors? Oh, it's just so endlessly inspiring. Not only do you see different products that you don't see in the U.S., but you also see the way they put things together. I love infusing an ethnic vibe into a room where you're blending things from all over, so it's not just, say, a Moroccan-themed space. Do you have any decorating rules to share? Obviously, scale is important, and getting it right is really important, but I think it has to do with the room itself. So it depends on the height of your ceiling, and the size of your sofa would dictate the size of your side tables and your coffee table. Play with your scale before you buy, and make sure your furniture purchases are scaled correctly in your room, because it's a pet peeve when it's out of whack. What are your design trademarks as a designer? People come to us for interior architectural help because I have that background, and I think a lot of people know that about me. I get hired a lot when they're in the beginning stages of building because I have an eye for making sure that the architect doesn't forget where the towel bars are going, or where the robe hook should be, and what walls are blocking your view or straightening something out so it's more symmetrical. Nice, that's important. And people come to me for pattern play and color. I know how to use color. I'll say, if you could have dinner with two designers, living or dead, who would they be? Dorothy Draper and Albert Hadley, they're iconic. Why is it important that people create a home that lives large? I think the pandemic showed us that. Life's too short to live in a bland house. Hall of Excellence. CH&L's 2022 celebration of Colorado's outstanding design leaders. Story by Richa Mitchell. Colorado Homes and Lifestyles created the Circle of Excellence to acknowledge the talented community who continue to raise the bar on innovative design in Colorado. This year, we are creating our first ever Hall of Excellence as a tribute to these individuals who were awarded a Circle of Excellence award during the past 5 years. The idea for this tribute came when we realized how many stories these design leaders have contributed to in the pages of Colorado Homes and Lifestyles, says Assistant Editor Richa Mitchell, who spearheaded the list. We think this section will be a service to our readers to see the breadth of talent in Colorado. The list has been organized by location and then by profession: architects, interior designers, kitchen designers, and landscape architects. In addition, we've included a list of CH&L stories in which their work appeared from 2017 through the January-February 2022 issue. Readers will find these stories available at coloradohomesmag.com/Hall of Excellence. Reaching new heights, above Aspen, an art-filled home offers seclusion, serenity, and wraparound mountain views. Story by Suzanne S. Brown. When it was time to add interior decor elements into this well-designed mountain home situated on 20-plus acres high above Aspen, Sean Henderson knew he needed a thoughtful approach. Not only is the modern home by Scott Lindenau of Studio B Architecture and Interiors impeccably conceived, the homeowners own an impressive collection of art and furniture. When describing what the Hong Kong-based couple wanted for their vacation retreat, architect Lindenau recalls, the clients were very interested in the spirit of wood. That resonated with him. We define our work as calculated and restrained, he says. We strive to minimize our material palette, with it being quiet and simple. Lindenau chose chiseled limestone, granite, sustainably harvested teak, and true Japanese plaster for the exterior, and used teak wall veneer inside for walls and the entry staircase. He used wire-brushed white oak planking for the floors. To further customize the interior, Lindenau flew in a team of U.S.-based craftspersons who had been trained in Japan to plaster interior walls in a technique called wara juraku, which incorporates straw for a textural effect. Those elements also appealed to Henderson, who says that he is inspired by how his clients want to live and tries not to compete with the views afforded by spectacular mountain properties. The hallmarks of my interiors are that they are warm, thoughtful, and comfortable, says the New York-based designer, who launched his firm in 2003. I don't want any of my interiors to feel too decorated. Interior designer Sean Henderson. His first monograph, Sean Henderson, Interiors and Context, was recently published by Monticelli Press and includes this modern Aspen home. All the architecture was done beautifully, Henderson says. Sleek lacquered kitchen cabinetry and custom built-ins, like the platform bed and nightstands in the primary bedroom, executed by Colorado Custom Millwork in Glenwood Springs, underscore the home's modern design. The owners were able to use much of their modern art and mid-century Danish furniture in the rooms, but given the home's size of 9,000 square feet and the generous proportion of the living spaces, additional furnishings were needed, Henderson says. The house is rectilinear, and much of the existing furniture has curvy, geometric mid-century modern appeal, which provided the perfect counterpoint. Working off of these forms is what helped inform my choices, the designer says. To me, the biggest challenge was coming up with an appropriate layout that made the house feel really comfortable and using a combination of textures that felt balanced. A gallery-like entry lends a strong first impression. It creates a moment with the amazing Antony Gormley struck sculpture the couple has, Henderson says. A bright yellow stool from Warren Plattner is an artsy spot for removing boots, as is the stone and blackened bronze bench by Eric Slayton. Book-matched teak veneer walls and a teak staircase lead up to the large main living room, which has walls of glass on two sides that capture snow-capped vistas of the Elk Mountains. To create a sense of intimacy in the big room, Henderson divided it into two. One is centered on the fireplace, and one is about experiencing the view, a place to sit and meditate. Henderson loves chairs of all kinds, but is particularly fond of a classic original on display in the living room, a sheepskin-clad tired man chair, originally designed by Fleming, Lassen, in 1935, sits next to a Hans Wegner peacock chair. In addition, a pair of charcoal gray upholstered armchairs and a mid-century modern custom sofa surround a custom coffee table that is 7 feet in diameter. On the other side of the room, a bright blue curved sofa from Vladimir Kagan faces a pair of Wegner's wingback Papa Bear chairs, another of Henderson's favorite seating options. Separating the seating areas is a 1970s-era vintage carved wooden table. What I tried to do was mix in natural and organic materials and match the architectural finishes, the designer says. I don't want any of my interiors to feel too decorated. I want them to be balanced and serene. Another element uniting the room is a custom rug composed of multiple textures and layers. In a modern home with walls of glass, it's super important to make it feel warm by using soft, comfortable materials, Henderson says. The residence offers multiple spots for tranquility and reflection, including a meditation room with a fireplace, a cypress wood soaking tub in the primary bathroom, and a rooftop deck with wraparound views of the mountains in the Castle Creek Valley. There is a sense of appropriateness to everything that is in the home, Henderson says. The design doesn't feel precious, even when rare or one-of-a-kind pieces of furniture are on display. Rooms can be very beautiful and yet livable and comfortable. The Butterfly Effect. A unique Steamboat Springs property is transformed into a multi-generational sanctuary. Story by Susie Mitchell. A mid-century design by a Beverly Hills-based architect is not a typical find for homebuyers in Steamboat Springs. For a Dallas-based couple with a keen eye for design, this rare dwelling with direct views to the ski area was an unexpected outcome to a multi-year search for a second home. The property, which once centered on a tree-filled atrium, was surprisingly dark inside, and the jaw-dropping panorama was shielded by low roof lines and obtrusive slump block columns. While the layout didn't quite work, the home's unrivaled setting on a secluded lane perched above a creek cemented its appeal. We went to look at it really to scratch it off the list, but it was unlike anything we'd seen in Steamboat, and we instantly knew it was something special, remember the homeowners. They returned with Hans Barend and Jeff Gerber, principals at Gerber Barend Design Build, who were already familiar with the home and shared a similar vision. The residents needed to serve a multi-generational family, including 2 homeschooled children, a daughter in her 20s, and grandparents. We wanted to be able to give one another space while keeping a sense of connection between the areas of the home, the homeowners explain. For the first year, the family spent months at a time living in the house to establish what worked and what didn't. We had fun picking and choosing what to celebrate about the house and what could be transformed, says Gerber, the design lead. An extensive overhaul began with the center of the property, which housed the entryway and the once-upon-a-time atrium. The midpoint was taken down to the foundation and rebuilt with a butterfly roof to embrace view corridors of the ski area and an aged pine forest in the foreground. Sliding eco-resin doors by 3-form double as a decorative feature and a partition between the entryway and open-plan living space. Delicate strips of torn paper reminiscent of ancient manuscripts handmade by Tibetan monks are layered within the resin. The owners have a very sophisticated palette, and touches like these are evident throughout the house, Gerber says. The design team kept in any corner window placements and choreographed in some of the slump-blocked wall finishes. David Hoffman, the project architect, designed the built-in cabinetry and artistic shelving throughout the home and enlisted Ron Clow of Uller Designs to custom craft his designs. A floor-to-ceiling steel facade surrounds the rectangular fireplace in the sitting area, where an elongated mantel was installed and painted in the same acrylic high-gloss finish as the upper kitchen cabinets. Corridors span from the hub of the house in 3 directions. Down one corridor are a guest bedroom with an accessible bathroom and a den, where a focus fireplace is a magnet for bookworms and family guitar jams. In the other direction, an office and home schoolroom looks out to time-worn trees and a sweeping yard, which is being rejuvenated by local green thumb visionaries, Gecko Landscaping. The last stop on that hallway is the owner's private sanctuary. An existing interior peekaboo window honors many of the home's original features, while a bathroom received a dramatic new design. On the lower level, 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and a family living room were transported from darkness. The original staircase was one steep run that blocked any natural light and made the downstairs feel cave-like, Gerber says. Hoffman widened the opening to incorporate a landing, and step lighting illuminates the soft oak treads. A 2-story glass wall flanks the new stairway and encases the kitchen, combining artistic drama with functionality. The overall transformation was not limited to the indoors. Decks on both levels underwent a metamorphosis with built-in fireplaces, benches, and bar tops of varying heights, making these exterior spaces the ultimate spot for multi-generational fun. Go and do checking in. Vail's newest luxe hotel highlights contemporary chic with a nod to the mod. The Hythe. Story by Rebecca Gart. Upon arrival at the newly renovated Hythe Hotel, I stepped into the sleek lobby and immediately felt my cool factor inch up a notch or two. The space is modern and clean, but somehow still harkens to the Vail of long ago and a nostalgic vibe of a charming alpine chalet. The inviting contemporary decor calls out both the past and present with its wood-paneled walls, warm leather, sumptuous textiles, and earthy undertones. Millennials in beanies and fashion-forward international visitors milled around the lobby après-ski, sipping warming concoctions from the adjacent whiskey bar. I just wanted to sink into the shearling rocking chair and enjoy the crackling fireplace. But my massage was calling, so while my husband and son took our dog Rosie for a walk, I headed down the wide staircase to the Well and Being Spa for a truly sublime experience. My massage therapist, Connie, expertly kneaded my muscles using a custom-blended oil infused with arnica and CBD for recovery. After the service, I headed into the Himalayan Salt Therapy Lounge, where I inhaled salt-infused air for healthy respiratory function. The cool, dry, high-salt environment is said to improve sleep. I don't know whether it was the salt lounge or the chilled glass of Prosecco I enjoyed while hanging out in the relaxation lounge, but something definitely worked. Ideally situated in Lions Head Village, the Hythe, formerly the Vail Marriott Mountain Resort, recently underwent a $40 million makeover and rebranding, elevating the hotel to the luxury category. But what makes this hotel different from its counterparts is its refreshingly innovative decor and mod 60s feel. By placing curvy and sculptural decor and Austrian alpine influences on almost every nook, the California-based interior design team effectively created multiple spaces where groups can gather in the spirit of a cozy European ski chalet. The Hythe is different from other hotels because we are telling the story of Vail and aligning with our location, says General Manager Kristen Pryor. By weaving the history of Vail Resort and its founders, Pete Seibert and Earl Eaton, into the decor, the Hythe teaches visitors about the 10th Mountain Division training camp during World War II, memorabilia from the 1960s when Vail was incorporated as a town and ski resort, allows guests to experience our location and feel a part of it, says Pryor. There are so many nods to that time period with glamorous touches and ski references that bring the spirit of pioneering and revelry to our spaces. After my rejuvenating massage and deep sleep, I awoke the next morning primed for a brisk snowshoe up Meadow Mountain in nearby Minotaur, followed by some turns on the hill. That evening, I met up with my family at Margie's house, an inviting restaurant on the upper floor that offers contemporary alpine American cuisine. Our server, Claudia, was low-key and professional, gently offering her suggestions as we swooned over over the raclette, wedge gem lettuce, crispy chicken torchon, grilled New York State, and hot smoked king salmon. For those who don't know Prior adds, Hythe is an Old English word that translates to haven or landing place. That's exactly what this new gem in the Vail Valley provides, a comfortable place to land for relaxation and recovery after a long day on the mountain. Well done, Hythe. Thank you for joining us for the March-April 2022 issue of Colorado Homes and Lifestyle magazine, The Mountain Issue. My name is Jerry Gingras.
You've been listening to Colorado Homes and Lifestyles, where style comes home. If you enjoyed this program, please register for our free services at www.aftersight.org or by calling 303-786-7777.